What do you think? All right, I think we are live right now. I think I am. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of reckless logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please, please, please smack that notification bell so do not miss any more posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Alrighty, guys, you guys already know why we're here and what I'm going to be talking about. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of a high speed deep dive into the situation, and to be completely honest, it really made my mouth drop, and I really was surprised by a lot of things that I found out over the span of the last 2 days. But let's get straight into this video. I'm gonna run my intro, then I also have a special guest. Let's get ready to go. Alrighty, now here's my special guest. Now we have Conscious TV. Conscious, you with me? Oh, hold up real quick. Gotta make sure. Hold up, gotta do the right thing real quick. I'm gonna mess things up. You with me, Conscious? There we go. Here we go. Bam, there we go. Conscious, you with me?
Hi.
There we go. I pressed the wrong thing. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I want to welcome you to Reckless Logic.
Come on, the Reckless Bureau.
You look really nice and handsome. I am loving the aesthetics and the haircut, and the new
Thank
wig
you.
is slamming.
Girl. If you knew the type of day I've been, girl. But you know what they say, that you gotta keep a smile on your face.
They also say that trades nut.
Okay, here we go. Hey, Purple Lover, how you doing?
Hey, rumors. Hey, y'all.
Hey, rumors. Girl, but okay, so I want to get straight into what we're here to talk about, because I'm not gonna lie. I was gagging when I started to see videos, clips, and I was really, really getting into the things. I was really gagging. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna lay down the foundation, and then we're gonna get into some things, and we're gonna talk about the things. So we're gonna talk about Eligio Bishop, aka Natureboy. Natureboy done messed around and found out the judicial system put the pedal to the metal and emptied the clip with a lifelong contract in the federal penitentiary. The courts done dropship Bishop like an Amazon package on a hot summer day. Since Natureboy was found guilty in stealing someone's innocence and posting explicit content of his victims as a form of revenge, he is going to find his way having to bob and weave to keep the rest of the inmates from stealing his canteen. He better come up off his bear claw, Swiss Miss, and bag of ruffles so they don't have to claw into his tails. Believe you me, the inmates won't miss a beat, and I'm pretty sure they'll rough him up a bit, if they haven't done so already. Despite the selective outrage, Natureboy better hide his charges from the rest of the pod. Prison don't respect people who prey upon minors and or women like Natureboy has, sir. If he has any sense, he needs to get used to being ready for count time, sending collect calls, and being told what to do. If Bishop thinks for 1 second, just because he's a cult leader, allegedly, of Carbonation, then that means he's going to be the HIIC, also known as the head inmate in charge. He is sadly mistaken. One wrong move, and the correctional officer will correct their foot in the crack of Natureboy's cast. This will be a tough cycle for Mr. Carbonation himself. Plus, isn't his last name Bishop? Oh, yeah. So that does make sense, because he will spend the rest of his days laying down a Holy Ghost-filled prayer inside of the chapel so that demonic homosexual spirit doesn't keep his name off the book of life. If he thinks he's going to be checking into confinement because he's in fear for his life, just so he can escape some task whoopings, just like a Hilton hotel, the same way he attempted to check in, he's going to be checking right back to his bunk. So after I said all of that, girl, Conscious, what do you have to say about the things? But I don't think you're so familiar with everything that's going on. I think I'm going to read my next article, and it's going to lay down some more foundation. You good with that?
Yeah, because maybe it'll explain which of his canteen might be taken from him.
Okay, baby, because the way, oh, trust me, once we get through talking about what the hell we need to talk about, oh, you're gonna find out what canteen's gonna be taken. But that's all right. So let me just share my screen, and we are up, and we are ready to go. Bam, girl, my face is big on here. Lord have mercy, that's not ladylike. Alrighty, let me see. How's everybody doing? So, just so you guys are aware, I have two articles. Two articles. This article here gives a foundation, but however, is something in here that I do want to tap into. But then the second article really breaks down everything that's going on. We might be here for a little minute. So this is brought to you by Alive. So according to Alive, it says here, alleged cult leader Natureboy learns his sentence after being found guilty of the R word. Keep in mind, y'all, I will be, substituting certain words. Great. Now it says below is a breakdown of the verdict and his sentencing. Let me go down. Now this happened in DeKalb County, Georgia. Come on, Georgia. Let me get all these extra stuff off of here, girl. This is just crazy. Let me see. Go back. I don't want to do all that. Now it says here, a judge sentenced alleged cult leader Eligio Bishop to life without parole, plus 10 years after a jury found him guilty of the R word and other charges Friday. The 40-year-old, known as Natureboy, is the alleged leader of the carbonation group. He was arrested in April 2020. A grand jury later indicted him on 5 charges, including the R word, in July 2022. Let's go down here. Now, this is the breakdown of his sentencing. Count 1, the R word, guilty, sentenced to life without possibility of parole. Girl. Count 2, false imprisonment, guilty, sentenced to 10 years to run consecutively. Girl. Count 3, oh, Lord, here we go. Now, this is where I'm going to have to substitute a whole bunch of stuff if you are not watching the screen. Prohibition of rude, with an N, and exily, with an S, explicit electronic transmissions. 12 months to serve to run concurrent with false imprisonment sentence. Girl. Count 4, prohibition of rude or explicit electronic transmission, sentenced to 5 years to run concurrent with false imprisonment sentence. Girl. Count 5, prohibition of rude or explicit electronic transmission, sentenced to 5 years to run concurrent with false imprisonment sentence. Girl, they just threw the whole book at him, and I know that's right. For context about this case, a former member of the alleged cult who identified herself as his girlfriend said he posted revenge P because she left him, and that's in quotation marks. Police reports detailed that the woman told authorities that she joined the S cult in which her boyfriend is the leader, and that she did live together with Mr. Bishop. Oh, come on, phone over here dropping. And he posted explicit videos of her and him without her consent on X, formerly known as Twitter. Later, Bishop's wife and former cult member told 11 Alive he had S and emotionally ABUSED, also known as the A word, members. Before the judge handed down the sentence Friday, some of the witnesses gave statements to the court sharing some of the A word they experienced. One of them even described Bishop as a monster to us all. Now, let me stop right there for 2.5 seconds. Me doing a deep dive, a rapid deep dive in the past 2 days, I'm not going to lie, and I keep saying this, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the live. My mouth dropped to the floor. I do understand that there are some terminologies, which we're going to get into a tad bit later, that we do like to use very commonly. But baby, when I tell you this man, he shocked me. He really did. But I'm going to continue with his bad boy act. What's going on, y'all? All right, it says here. Now it says here, and I quote, "Now you are a prisoner like you imprisoned us," she said. Bishop, who the judge told to direct his comments to her, made a statement claiming he wasn't upset. He repeated several times, and I quote, "I forgive you and I still love you," in court. The judge said Bishop didn't show remorse during the trial, which led to his life without parole sentence. You see what happened when you don't play nice? You're a master manipulator and probably a classic definition of a narcissist, she said. Once the witnesses said past years are time that she would never get back, but was glad that justice was served. And that's the end of the article. Now, before I proceed, Contra, do you have any thoughts, opinions, concerns, anything of the sort?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. So the reason why I wanted to touch up on this article was because your classic word that I know that you use quite frequently is narcissist.
Mm.
And how deep narcissism runs within the veins of America. So let me share my screen real quick over here. First, let me take this screen. Bam. So this right here, close this out. This right here, make sure my screen is good to go. Bam, bam, clicking through, already through. Now, let's get into narcissism. First thing is first. Alexa, what is narcissism?
Narcissism is a condition in which a person admires their own attributes through vanity or egotism. The term is derived from Narcissus, a figure from classical mythology who fell in love with the sight of his own face.
Okay, so yeah, this article right here is from Psychology Today. Narcissism, girl, bless my tongue. Narcissists have a prominent place in the popular imagination, and the label narcissist is widely deployed to refer to people who appear too full of themselves. There's also a growing sense that narcissism is on the rise around the world, especially among young people, although most psychological research does not support that notion. Narcissism is properly viewed on a spectrum. The trait is normally distributed in the population, with most people scoring near the middle and a few at either extreme. The Narcissistic Personality Inventory (NPI), commonly used measure of the trait, score ranges from 0 to 40, with the average tending to fall in the low to mid-teens. Healthy individuals who score somewhat higher may be perceived as extremely charming, especially one on the first encounter, but eventually come across as vain. Such individuals may have awkward or stressful personal encounters, but still have a fundamentally healthy personality. So, Conscious, I know that you speak about narcissism and narcissists all the time. What are your experiences, if you have any, of narcissism or narcissist by any chance?
That would require a whole season of X-Files.
Come on, X-Files.
But prime example of this I'll say is my ex, who's currently incarcerated for the trillionth time.
Yeah.
He is actually a diagnosed narcissist. He actually got diagnosed shortly after he got on his feet and kept being tired of thinking that I was just throwing a label at him, only for his healthcare provider to do so as well. And what's interesting is that my ex, just like Natureboy, also had a fascination to becoming a cult leader. He literally would talk to me about wanting to start a cult. And I know that a part of like the narcissism complex, which is typically birthed out of a lot of emotional abandonment, psychologically can result in like these people with a deep sense of powerlessness. So they compensate for that by wanting to be in positions of power, whether you got Donald Trump trying to be the president or Natureboy literally trying to be God in people's lives.
Yeah.
And yes, they can be very, 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 very dangerous people. Um, if you don't know what's happening to you or who this is, I mean, it can literally drive you mad dealing with these people. They are so sufficient at playing mental games and kind of turning you into a shell of yourself. It's a very
Mm.
bizarre and shocking encounter, and typically the damage hits an all-time extreme before you realize like that is actually not you because the narcissist convinced you to see yourself as insecure and
Mm.
turns you against your own personal judgments. I mean, it's really a mess. Narcissistic abuse really, really can take the brain out of there.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna like, I'm gonna keep saying this throughout the whole.
Hmm.
When I was doing a deep dive on this, my mouth fell to the floor because I'm not gonna say I've never experienced narcissism or narcissist.
Hmm.
But I know it wasn't on the same level of what I've witnessed in terms of me taking a dive into this story. Like when I seen the videos and the way that people were treated within the cult, alleged cult, and all. Oh no, baby, it was insane. But
You
let me
don't gotta
refer
say
back.
alleged. Even they call it a damn cult.
Oh, they do,
Yeah,
girl,
that's what it was.
girl.
I do have a question for you though.
What's going on?
Unless
Mhm.
you don't want to answer it right now. I don't know if you want to answer it later or
What's the
whenever.
question?
I was
Mhm.
gonna ask you like what was the most shocking of what you saw?
Um, it was the mental trap
Mm,
that was the most shocking because there would be members. Now keep in mind, he would Mr. Carbon Monoxide himself. He would talk to them crazy, like really dehumanize them,
yeah.
physically attack them, exploit them financially, physically with their sexual organs, body parts. I'm trying to curve these words out. Come on, YouTube. Even I just use one of them, but girl. But it was this mental trap that even when certain wives actually did escape, certain people actually did get out. But the gag is, they came back. You got away successfully physically, but mentally you were still trapped. And that was the most shocking thing to me, as in, I think for for if you look at things for what it is and for the surface, I think most people are gonna say the most shocking thing is all the things that he's doing to people, as in hitting, slapping, the R word, etc., etc. But for me, it was the fact that they experienced all of that, successfully physically left, but then they end up coming back because of where probably their conscious was, no pun intended, where their consciousness was at that moment of being tied into this person emotionally,
Mhm.
spiritually, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Dirt.
And the abuse, it removes your inner compass. So once you
Yep.
kind of don't know how to trust yourself, the only thing that you do unfortunately rely upon
Is
is
them.
the person you who been acting as a GPS.
Whew, baby, it was insane. Now it says here the traits of narcissism. It's easy to describe someone who spends a bit too much time talking about her career or who never seems to doubt himself as a narcissist. But the trait is more complicated than that. Narcissism does not necessarily represent a surplus of self esteem or of insecurity. More accurately, it encompasses a hunger for appreciation or admiration, a desire to be the center of attention, and a expectation of special treatment reflecting perceived higher status. Dirt. Interestingly, research finds many highly narcissistic people often readily admit to an awareness that they are more self-centered. A high level of narcissism, not surprisingly, can be damaging in romantic, familial, or professional relationships. Girl, I want to read this part. This right here. How do I spot a narcissist? Narcissism is characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy for others, a need for excessive admiration, and the belief that one is unique and deserving of special treatment. If you encounter someone who is consistently exhibits these behaviors, you may be dealing with a highly narcissistic individual. Let me go down here. Where is bad boy? Know that they are narcissists or benefits from a narcissist. Okay, here we go. This is the big one. How to handle a narcissist. Navigating a relationship with a narcissist can be deeply frustrating and distressing. In their quest for control and admiration, narcissistic people may manipulate and exploit others, damaging their self-esteem and even aiming to alter their sense of reality. Arguing with a narcissist about their action often proves fruitless. A more successful solution is to establish boundaries and emotionally distance yourself. Recognize you may not be able to control your feelings about a person, but you control how you respond to them. Cutting ties with a narcissistic partner, family member, or boss may eventually be the best, if not the only solution. In that process, it's helpful to reflect on the characteristics of the individual to avoid finding oneself in similar scenarios in the future. Now, question: how did you, in the relationship, deal with the narcissist? And what was your last straw, without getting too personal, if you can or can't? What was the last straw to be like, okay, we're just gonna have to cut ties? I've tried every other option, and this option not working. But now my final result is cutting ties.
Ooh, because we did a lot of back and forth before it became the ultimate end for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's exactly what led eventually to me giving up entirely. Is because literally I had exhausted every creative way to just maintain the relationship, to maintain the love there, and unfortunately that costed me like 5 years of my damn life. So for me, the ultimate end was just like coming to the realization, the tragic realization that nothing could save their relationship. But unfortunately, because the narcissist like becomes heavily dependent upon you, and then you become heavily dependent upon them, dependent upon you, that it's not until you like empty all of your emotional, mental, physical, spiritual resources and you're pretty much once again left to ruins that
Mm,
you realize that something has to happen. And for me, that was me breaking up. For other people, that was powing the damn narcissist.
yeah. Yeah. Oh Lord Jesus. Well, alrighty then. Girl, that was deep. That was deep. Let me continue real quick. Oh, but Purple Lover says, I have watched him for years. He was a crash course in narcissism. Girl, I know that's right. The real gag was that he acted like his teachings were so profound, but all of what he was taught, what he taught was able to be found with a Google search by more qualified people, and that's the gag of it all too. And that's something that when I was doing my deep dive, quote unquote, that was one of the things that one of the content creators, I cannot remember her name, content creators said is that was that was the foolery of it all, is that he presented himself like an expert, but in all actuality he had cheat codes and he had the answers behind the scenes, but he acted like everything he said was came from him and came from God. And 333, because three, if you don't know, 333 is his thing. 333, girl, a fool, a mess. But that was the thing with him. Now, Elite Leo says, seemed as though as all of his cult members were broken people that were trying to find themselves in life, looking for something to be a part of, loved in search of something. We're actually going to get into that in 2.5 seconds, don't we?
So that's the core of it.
Yep, that's because that's the core.
Yeah.
When you are into it, we're going to get into it. I'm not going to go too far forward. Let me go back to this bad boy here.
I think you have a new person in your chat too.
Ooh, let me go
Living
back to
in
my.
Kumu.
Oh, I didn't see this person. I didn't scroll all the way down.
Hi, Lena.
Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing? What's going on?
I think you're breaking into the algorithm.
Girl, come on, breaking into the algorithm. I know I live. I know that's right. Oh, it says I would say my narcissist left me. I know that's right. Leave me, leave me. He left me for new supply. Yeah, because like Conscious said, when you have a person, a narcissist, all they're gonna do is take, 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 take. Because remember, a narcissist lacks empathy
Mm-hmm.
and constantly wants praise and admiration. So you're not giving empathy or praise or anything like that back, but you always want to take, 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 take. That's a parasite. And things about parasites is they're gonna eat, 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 eat until there's no more. And so once you get to a point, or not even say that, because even when you get to a point of being drained, of being tired, of being neglected, of being like they suck the life all the way out of you, they still, on from their perspective, POV, they're still not done with you yet, because to you, you feel and look like there's no more of me left. But to them, there's like, there's a little bit left in the corner. I want to get all of that. So once they get to the point of, I've used you already. There's no more left of you. It's like a rag that you kind of wring out all the way. There's no more left I can get out of you. Now I want to get to my new supply, where is just a fresh batch.
I
But girl,
consider a narcissist to be a human mosquito.
over here, spreading the what was the name of the thing that the what's to say, the condition? Because I don't want to be careful with my words here on YouTube, that was spreading because of mosquitoes. Was it Lyme? Was it Zika? Something like that. One of them
Both
heifers.
of them. It would sound like it was both of them.
If I think it probably was the mosquitoes, girl. Alrighty, so let me go down. Let me make sure I get this thing going, girl. So let me refer back to Psychology Today. Hold on, I gotta make sure my screen on. Okay, it is on. Let me make sure I take this off. Hide. I don't want to hide or nothing. Okay, it says here, what are the strategies to handle a narcissist? Acknowledging your frustration, appreciating where the behavior comes from, and refusing to lose your own sense of purpose when a narcissist takes center stage are key strategies. Among others, researchers who classify narcissists are either vulnerable or grandiose argue that specific approaches are warranted for each type. Come on, each type. Let me drop down here. Narcissism in relationships. A narcissist's desire to elicit admiration and praise, especially from potential romantic partners, often makes them charming and charismatic, traits that can rapidly ignite a romance. But their inherent deficient of empathy may prevent them from understanding a partner's inner world and establish a fulfilling long-term relationship. It's nearly impossible for people with narcissistic personality disorder to truly fall in love and build a trusting, equal partnership. Such an individual may seek to establish strict rules in a relationship and attempt to isolate a new partner from friends and family, among other disturbing behaviors. You know what's funny about that? Is that I have a friend where she's a bit of a mammy. And what I mean by that is this. She's a bit of a mammy in terms of when she gets in a relationship, it's strictly all about my man, my man, my man, my man, my man, my man, my man. Now, with everything, there is a spectrum, and with everything, there are polarities. There is a thing as in where you're not spending enough time or having enough work, putting enough effort. That's perfect. Putting in enough effort for your relationship. And then on the flip side of that, there is something called putting too much work into a relationship to the point now you're clingy and now you're doing too much. Now, me, from a friend's perspective, POV, is that she has this thing of when she gets in relationships, my man, 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 and then she completely forgets about us as friends, and there's no balance there. We can barely talk to her. She doesn't want to stay on the phone with us. She is hard to get in touch with her. She's always around dude, which is okay, cool. You're gonna be around dude, but however, she doesn't want to put in the initiative to hang out with us. But then, and also too, from the POV of said friend, it seems like the boyfriend likes the separation between his girl, his girl, his girl, his girl, and then her friends that's been here since day one. But then once said boyfriend or former boyfriend goes to break her heart, we have to be the ones to step in and pick up the pieces. Have you ever dealt with that?
Yeah, through you.
Girl, you a fucking lie. Don't, girl, got me cussing on this damn plot.
Right. Monetization.
Monetization, girl, got me, girl.
Yeah,
When
I
I tell you I
have.
slipped out, you slipped out so bad. Just slipped out.
I have definitely dealt with that, especially in my 20s. I think that's when like relationships were really new to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to date in their adulthood. But yeah, a lot of those people, they don't even know that they really suffer from loneliness until they end up getting into a relationship, and
Yeah.
then to your point, that's when they like see that that's really what they've been waiting on the whole time. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who use like their social life as a substitute
Yeah.
for relationships, and those type of people because once they get in that relationship, as you said, girl, they done changed their damn number, they done had cosmetic surgery, they
Girl.
got a whole new social security number, they got a whole new native tongue, it's a mess.
Girl, because when I tell you, them boyfriends or the men that she be dealing with, and I can say this because I done told her this personally, they be turning her every which way but loose. And me and some of my other friends, we get on her about this all the time, is that they turn you every which way but loose. But then once you done got verbally and romantically dog walked, not physically, or I'm more emotionally and what emotionally and romantically dog walked through your relationship, then you want to come back crawling back, and then we're the ones that got to put icy hot, give you a water bottle and ish, give you some a Snapple and some Pringles and something to make you feel better. We're the ones that got to bring you back to to a healthy state after you done got done abandoning us.
Oh, you better than
So
me. I just take my friends out to the pile. Like after they do that, I take them out back and take them out the pasture.
take it,
After
girl,
they come back all damaged and toe up. I'm like, oh,
girl,
you beyond repair, girl. Let me go ahead and send you to the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter.
come on, holy daughter. Hold
But
up,
let
but
me
this,
ask you this question:
mm,
was she at least abandoning y'all for six-figure men?
no, we all in college.
Ooh, child. Ooh, child.
No, we all in college.
Ooh, girl,
But what had happened was she was demonetized. That's what it was. Demonetized. She had she was over there getting her parking that Big Mac truck in her little garage. That's what it was. And we be telling her about that all the time. And the only reason I can really say this out loud is because we get on her all the time about it. I've been very vocal about it. It's not gonna hurt if I say it out loud. It's not gonna hurt. Is that she has been demonetized, and now she's gotten to the point to where I guess after some times of it being repetitive, she's hearing us out and she's actually listening and taking into account how a lot of her friends, or at least certain friends that she may talk to, or the friends that usually have to pick up the pieces, how we are experiencing her, and then taking that into account. As in, yes, your intention versus your impact are two different things. And I use this example all the time. Yes, I may have intended to go to the bar, have a couple of drinks, and drive back home and go to sleep and go to work the next morning.
Now
But
you
the actual impact is that I went to the bar, had too many drinks. Now I'm over here all intoxicated, get in my car, get in a car crash, and then take the lives of a whole family in a minivan. And
and
now I gotta serve life.
having to file a lawsuit against Diddy.
All of that. So your impact versus your intention. Yes, your intention is necessary in terms of your apology, or I'm gonna say your the understanding, but however, it's all about the impact. Because the thing about it, a lot of people can intend for themselves for them to do good, but however, whatever that end result is, that's what it is. Like there are plenty of doctors who have intended into going into surgery and just completing the procedure in the safest way possible. But however, things do happen, and the end result is that there is a patient who's flatlined on the bed, on the table. But let me continue. Let me switch a rule over here, girl. Bam! There we go. Girl, there's gonna be a lot of switching through. What is bad boy at? Right here. All right, it says right here. Why do narcissists make such a good first impression? Research suggests that people may initially be drawn to narcissists because they seem to possess stronger self-esteem than they really do, a trait that people often appreciate. So, question, conscious, in your experience, every question is: was that the only narcissist you've ever experienced?
No, of course not.
If you had to guesstimate, how many narcissists have you actually come across? Like, if you had to guesstimate.
Oh,
Oh, girl, you are the narcissist whisperer, girl.
yeah, I do put a silencer on that thing.
Girl,
Then,
girl.
it's been a lot. Probably one out of every five persons I encounter.
How many people have you encountered? Oh my gosh, girl. Come on,
28.
1 out of 5.
I'm
Come
28.
on,
It's, I mean, and
come on, 20%.
if not full on narcissists, definitely people with very strong narcissistic tendencies. But I
Okay.
actually think that I think most people have experienced this a lot. I think that narcissism and narcissistic tendency and narcissism spectrum is more pervasive in our society than we can imagine.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Do you believe that, or do you know? Do you think, or do you believe, or do you know that with narcissism, can it be developed in terms of in later in life, or this is only like something that can be developed in your adolescence?
Um,
If you know, because you seem to be the narcissist slayer and
from what
whisperer.
I understand, a lot of narcissists are birthed out of childhood trauma.
Mm,
I'm sure that there definitely can be circumstances and situations that can arise
mhm.
later in life through teenage years on up, etc. But yeah, a lot of it is birthed out of um childhood trauma, and
Gotcha.
a lot of strong emotional, spiritual, mental abandonment. Even my ex, like he had a very emotionally unavailable mother who also used to torment him and his siblings. She also was a mammy and chased after men, and she was not physically and emotionally available. And then his father was a drug lord, and it was she just had a mess. And so he grew up without a lot of the nurture that he needed
Mm,
and a lot of the attention and affirmation he needed. So he developed what I like to call a narcissist, a severe self-preservation complex. And I think
girl.
that's why they are so hell-bent on being selfishness. I feel like they're kind of like locked into survivor mode, like a
Mm,
broken gear shift. And
girl.
yeah, it ruins their introspective capacity, and they end up really just knowing not what they do. I think the scriptures have their own language for this called reprobates and swine, cashapro, not unto swine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
tells you to stay away from reprobate people, etc. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask you that question, but you kind of like answered it in a sense, and plus I thought about it. Lin says narcissistic people are attracted to me. It's annoying AF. And I was gonna say, and I think you said this before, how narcissistic people, like, if you have a certain quality about yourself, as in you're a big giver, you are empathetic, you are nice, etc. Something that seems to be something of value with beneath the surface, that can most definitely attract like-minded people who also like you, but in the same tone, they also attract the complete opposite, as in people who want to use or I gotta be careful with these words on YouTube, exploit your kindness, exploit your empathy, and then manipulate whatever they can so they can be able to get whatever they need out of you. But let me do this. I'm about to switch gears real quick, girl. Let me switch gears real quick. Talk to the people real quick. Conscious, talk to the people.
Make sure you guys thumbs up, and Purple Love is dropping some gems in the chat. She said this
Yes.
manifestation to make empaths become more aware that they need to care for themselves just as much as they care for other people. I find that to be interesting too, because I always felt like empaths and narcissists kind of represented two sides of an extreme
Mm-hmm.
coin. Like empaths can learn to be more self-caring from
Mm-hmm.
observing narcissists who do a little bit too well in the self-care category, but
Yeah.
also like narcissists attract empaths because they need more balance with that selfishness, with selflessness, and being able to um consider the collective and community, being able to actually see the value in doing for other people, and also like giving to the world in which you're living in, to your point, not just taking. So they
Yeah.
both represent like they both have an imbalance. They kind of both represent each other's alter egos, because I realized that even
Yeah.
when I was with Minarchs, like I used to envy their ability to not give up. I'm like, how do you just not give up? Like,
Yeah.
like they just, I mean, they can absolutely put themselves completely to the front of the line. Be so angry that I did not have that. I'm like, I don't have that. So yes, I do think that narcs and empaths represent the polarity, if anything.
Yeah. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of the same way in terms of when I care, I care. When I like someone, I like someone. Like when I'm actually in it, I'm in it. I'm gonna say this. I haven't experienced the thing to where I'm kind of like kind of like unsure, whatever. At least from my perspective, I don't know how other people may experience me, but I, when I care about somebody or I care about something, it's hard for me to turn it off just like that. Like it's hard for me to get to that point to turn it. Like for me, or at least from what I've experienced so far in my life, is that it's gonna take a couple of times to get me to that point. And be like, oh well, forget you. It's all right. It's whatever. Like it
And
take it. Mm,
and that's the thing about emotional intelligence, is like a lot of us spent our whole life with, I think, a false understanding of the way emotions and love work, which is like we try to actually get rid of the way we feel. And I realized that
yeah,
that's actually more time being counterintuitive. Really, we need to be learning how to manage the way that we feel, because we are learning that we can't necessarily, to your point, change it. Like, I love you,
yeah,
and because it's love, it also transcends the buffoonery that you put me through, and love doesn't give up. So now, instead of like me trying to change my love for people, when I identify some of the people I love as toxic, I actually just reappropriate the love, but I don't try to change it. Like I accept that I can love you and love you from afar, that I can love
yeah,
and still move on with my life. I love you and can still, like, sit on both my hands without like being invested. I've understood that the love, like, to feel and experience the love, is not mutually exclusive to taking action.
yeah,
But a lot of us are so emotionally immature that we are governed completely by our impulses. So we oftentimes use the way we feel to justify the way we're acting. So it's like, well, I love him. So now that excuses why you're a dumbass. And that excuse why you keep going
mm,
back. And that excuse why you keep going around and making the same mistakes. So it's the emotional discipline part that I think we need more of, and understanding that our emotions have a lot of data about us, and we need
yeah.
to stop ignoring that data and just, once again, using our feelings as fuel. because they have much deeper purposes and resonance in our life.
Mm. Alrighty, I'm about to switch gears. I'm ready now. Now what I'm going to do right now, because I don't want YouTube to get me up out of here, because girls, certain things they be crazy about, certain things people be getting up out of here. I'm a smaller YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna play it safe. So what I'm gonna do right now, I am going to play a video. Now, this is the video of Natureboy being inside court. Now, what you're about to hear is his sentence. Like, this is what he said before she threw the whole goddamn library at his task. Okay, let me switch gears real quick. But damn, there we go. Now it says here, Natureboy gives statement before judge hands down a life sentence. Let's take a listen.
I will swear you in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth about to give you the truth? For sure. At all times.
All right, what is it you'd like me to consider?
I just want to say something to all of them.
Well,
I just want to say.
Just direct it to me, please, not to.
I'll direct it to you. I'll direct it to you.
Okay.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm not answering any questions of yours, Mr.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I got nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I forgive you. I want you to know I still love you and forgive you. And kiss my baby girl and let her know I love her. And I love y'all. I don't have I promise you, you know how I am. In my heart, you know how I am. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you.
All right. I got that.
Don't hate me.
Okay.
Don't hate me.
Is there anything
My
else?
heart light as a feather. I promise you I love you and I'm still here. I ain't miss one lick. I see what y'all doing and I want you to know I forgive you. And I'll see y'all in the end.
All right. Thank you.
I love you.
Now, girl. Okay, so let me just go, let me go back so I can hear what Conscious got to say. Cause girl, here we go. Here we go. Conscious, you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
What are your thoughts? Now that's before she threw the library at his task. What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. Like a narcissist trying to afflict guilt upon you for holding them accountable is literally classic narcissistic behavior. Like, let me convince you that you're the one doing something to me as a result of holding me accountable and establishing a check and balance and or boundaries. That's literally what narcs do. Okay, their biggest kryptonite is boundaries. Okay, you having any autonomy is something that's going to cause an adverse reaction in the subject matter. I mean, in the narcissist, etc. And in this case, it was just cringy of him to attempt to make a judge feel guilty about literally sentencing and penalizing him for breaking laws. That's funny.
Girl,
I also heard, like passingly over the past few days, that he was in court smiling,
I
joking,
heard that too.
literally just acting like a turd. So I think he really, I don't know. Now that I'm more curious about whether he did that because he thought he was actually going to get off, or whether he knew that he was at the end of the road and just didn't care anymore and just decided to be spiteful. What do you think about the immature behavior of him during this
Um,
serious case?
honestly, from taking, I'm gonna keep saying it, taking a deep dive, rapid deep dive, and you know who we should have had? Sweet Ma, because remember some time back, Sweet Ma said that she was keeping up with the Solar, and I seen him in the in when I was doing my deep dive, talk about Solar and Natureboy and all the stuff was going on. It's classic for him. This is what he does. He does this thing where he does his BS, does it to the extreme. Then, like you said, when people go to hold him accountable, he's trying to lighten the blow by, I love you. Oh, we can do this. Oh no, I forgive you. I will never be. He does the love bombing stage over again and again. And the reason why I know this is because I listened to one of his wives, former previous wife, baby mama, now, interview. Intelligent woman, Velvet. Intelligent woman. She knows how to speak well, but when I tell you she was in the sunken place when she was in the cult. And that was very consistent throughout her interview. He would present one thing to the forefront, but then behind the scenes, he's being his true nature, which is a snake.
Yeah.
And he's, I love you. You could be one of my wives. And just love bombing hard. And also using the other women, aka his other wives or concubines, to help assist in alley hoop and slam dunk onto Velvet. And she kept saying how he would literally physically hurt her on a multitude of occasions while she was pregnant. And he will literally choke her out until she stops breathing and pass out.
Yeah.
And once she gets to leave, and this goes back to what I said earlier about the emotionally and mentally still being there. Because even when I was looking into different types of cults and why do people get into cults, what's the process to this, and how does this work and how does that work? Doesn't matter what type of cult you looked into. If you looked into Christianity, the extreme religious cults, if you looked into the hate groups, if you looked into certain organizations, institutions, they've all said the same thing in terms of when it was time for them to leave. It was this thing of using fear as a tactic, and also as a side effect, it applied guilt. So when people may have left their religious cults, the extremely religious cults, they felt a guiltiness upon themselves because they were like, I'm not pleasing God. And they had to constantly fight with that idea inside of their heads. Also, same thing happened with Velvet. When she left, she felt guilty. Obviously, she kept feeling guilty because she had to keep coming back. So it was deep. It was deep. I'm not gonna lie, it was deep. It really was. But let me read some of these comments. But honestly, this is just classic him. I don't believe that he's learned his lesson. I personally feel that he'll probably get some understanding of his lesson once them inmates in there start to tear him up, wear him out, dog walk him all up and down the dorm.
So exactly what was he put behind bars and given life for?
He was put behind bars for the R word. And then he was also put behind bars because he exposed, I gotta, because YouTube. He put up media content that was explicit. It was an S tape. X tape. So, and that was another thing that Velvet said in her interview, is that he did that as a way to get back at whoever, one of his wives, and it was a way to get back at them. So
it's not very similar to P. Diddy allegedly making Cassie watch certain content and making her watch herself back with other men, etc.
girl, it's this misuse, because girl, I can't, the A word, misuse of power, and how power can either corrupt the mind or it can, back to our Wendy Williams thing, it can exaggerate what's already there within you, amplify what's already there in you, to where before it was deep in, and it was deep inside. But like you said, conscious, there are certain things that acts as filters, to where by the time it does reach the surface onto the outside of your body, and the way that it may present itself is more polished compared to certain circumstances and stuff that is gonna, you're gonna get it raw and uncut completely.
So essentially, it's being argued that power is equivalent to alcohol. It reveals
Mm-hmm.
the inner self.
Yeah.
But that is, some people are positive, happy-go-lucky alcoholics. Other people are acting like you not being chosen like a man, acting like you not being chosen by a man. Y'all should have seen the way that Reckless lost his ish.
Ah, shut up, bitch.
I ain't never
Oh,
seen
damn.
Mammy. Self-control, nature boy. Self-control.
Mm-mm. Girl, I have to stop talking to you, because girl, you're gonna get my YouTube channel snatched. Alrighty, so let me but yeah, I did lose my ish. I already did, because I felt violated. I was like, I know this man did not just violate me when I've been
Oh,
good.
that's actually a great reference, Reckless. So imagine like the state that a lot of people who are struggling with leaving a cult, finding their voice, finding empowerment, they basically are you in that state. Like, remember how like you just like however you was experiencing the situation, all it did
Mm-hmm.
was make you want to be picked. It just made you want to be picked. The thing
Yeah.
going on just like had kind of messed with your mind in a way that it just left you like in need for validation and to be seen. And the narcissist, like in your case, obviously, like
Yeah.
that person just didn't know what they were doing. But imagine somebody knowing like how human
Yeah.
nature works and being able to use like our fundamental biological incentives against us. Like, we are a communal species for one,
Yeah.
so that's why we build, and we build amongst each other. We create families, societies. We live in close proximity to other people. Like, we're communal by nature. Most of us, because we live in transactional systems, that also sets us up to kind of be pygmicious, unbeknownst to us, because we live in a transactional system. We live in a reward-based system.
I'm not gonna lie, I shocked myself when that situation. I was like, oh my god. Like, once it was said and done, because you remember, I was trying to shake it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm cool. Baby, when that bad boy finally got to that surface, you probably thought it was the mask. When I tell you I was over here being sad, happy, girl, distraught, horrified, all over the place.
Yeah.
It was the circle of emotions, because girl, I went through the whole circle, the full scope.
Everything that crimes of passion are made of.
Girl, I think another reason why I went to that the whole circle, because I couldn't do what I wanted to do, girl.
I
And I
told
told
you.
myself, and plus I told myself, especially knowing the rates in terms of queer people and apparently domestic violence, DV, girl. I did not ever want to be put in a situation to where I have to put hands on the people that I love or the people that I'm in connection to. I didn't want to do that. And so I was glad that I was able to, the situation happened and there was no type of situation to where we probably met up, conversation didn't go right, probably got slick at the mouth, both of us not backing down, and things was going left. So I'm real glad that did not happen.
You would have had to use your training for self gain. But I told you what it was. You had manifested that as karma because you had just gotten on my panel a week prior and was going reading them women down for being mammies and dummies and male identified. I said, where all that is now? Huh?
No. The issue is, girl, I can't get too deep into, but you know what the issue was. The issue, girl, I don't want to get too deep, but there's another factor in here that's not being said. It was many people that's going to be get snatched up real quick. There's a factor, logicians, that's not really being said, but girl, for me, it was the ultimate. It was the ultimate betrayal, and it was the ultimate disrespect. That is right there was the. You really like? I wonder. You really gonna try me like this? But now I got to the point. I ain't got to listen to them. I don't call them and do nothing like that, girl. Deuces.
Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, when we feel powerless, it's just so interesting at how real that feels when the powerlessness is emotional and mental. Like you might be free physically, but you feel powerless in every other way.
Woo!
And you actually overcome that and you can't even find that place again. What do you think actually happens? Like, cause I think I asked you recently, like, if that situation started up again and it involved the other person, and I asked you like if you would even like, you know, care, you was like, I wouldn't even care. But it's just so weird,
I
like
really.
go from like, what was I in that made the desire to even be that invested so
I
whatever to I'm also like I'm still the same person and now I'm sitting here not caring.
I think for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I think for me it was the. I really did not think that this person would do me the way that this person did, because even then for me personally, I didn't know the track record of the relation. Now it's different if I knew how they were in relationships, and it's and plus I knew the Carfax. Shout out to Erica De Niro TV for that. If I knew the Carfax on that nagger, then that would be something different, because then it could be like, girl, you didn't see the Carfax, but I did not know the ins and outs in terms of the Carfax of him in previous situationships, relationships. The only thing I knew to go based off of is our interaction, and because we weren't really fully a thing, it wasn't like a who you talking to, who did I'm a little crazy. He'll be like, we're not together. Why are you tripping? And the thing about it is, in that space, for me, it was, I felt violated, because for one, I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve that, especially when he was reaching out, talking to people that just wanted him for his body. I'm trying to curve out these words. Just wanted him for his body. But the thing is that I actually liked you, which means that when I was reaching out to you, forget us having sex. I'm really trying to see, are you good? Are you okay? Because I knew he was going through something at the time. So I'm like, are you good or are you okay? And then just to see this mother, girl, almost had flashbacks. See this mother go out to reach out to somebody that literally just wants him for his body, when I did not deserve the way that you treated me. I was actually very good to you, and that's the way you treat me? Cool. And I just eventually I let it go. I let it, I let things go, and I just let it play out. I just went through the motions or whatever, but eventually I had to let it go. And that's a situation that I use when I say, when I like you hard. Like, when I'm with you, I'm with you. There is no nah. Because if I do have to do, I'm really not messing with you like that. I'm still pending. I'm still trying to figure it out. The process is still pending. The payment is still pending. The judgment is still pending. So it's not confirmed. But yeah.
You know, I realize that sometimes the universe forces breakdown
Mm-hmm.
because it's the other person that doesn't deserve us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've come to terms with that. That's the reason why I still have his phone number right now.
Oh, we know.
I don't
You had to put that pow on
I
it.
don't have a need to call. I don't have a need to text.
Yeah,
I unfollow him on Instagram, Snapchat, etc.
for
Just
now.
so I don't have to, 'cause especially during that time I just couldn't see him because I was disgusted. I don't have the need. I don't have that. I need to. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna text. I'm gonna. So for me, I'm past that point. But however, don't get it twisted. If he were to try to come back, oh, we're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna have the real conversation. Now I'm willing to move forward, but I know how you operate. I will keep my eye out. But we're gonna have us a conversation. Naga, you not gonna be one of the mother that go out to the store and be gone for 5 years talking. They come back talking about they didn't have no milk. I had to go to China and go pick it up. No, 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 Naga. We gotta have a conversation and we gonna talk about it all. I'm just saying. But let me continue. So now we're gonna segue over to another clip. Mr. Bishop, aka Natureboy, aka I can't say that word, YouTube. From carbon monoxide, aka carbonation, was sentenced to life without parole plus 10 years today after declining a deal of 7 years for a guilty plea. Now that's the gag of it all. Now just imagine you're given a plea deal that if you were to just say that you were guilty, which you are, it's not like this stuff isn't documented. You have a history and a pattern of doing all of these things. So it's not far-fetched that you didn't do it. Just saying. But a guilty plea of giving you 7 years for said crimes, but then on good behavior, you probably would have got it earlier. But then just to fight it, and then you get life with no parole, girl, karma knows how to come in mysterious ways, girl. But let me segue over. Bam! Here we go. Let me play it back real quick. So this is this is his reaction after the fact.
Life without parole plus 10 years. And hopefully you'll never be able to take advantage of anybody else again.
Ooh!
I'm not answering any questions of yours.
This is getting again.
I forgive you. I forgive you, and I still love you. I forgive you, and I still love you.
Yeah, same thing.
I know nothing in my heart. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you.
Come on, notifications.
I want you to know I still love you, forgive you, and kiss my man, girl. I know I love you.
This man is meant to be
And
here.
I love y'all. I will never, I'll have to, I promise you, you know how I am. In my heart, you know how I am. I still love you. I still.
He talking about you. He knows how he is by his heart. But a fool, a fool, a fool, a fool. But I don't know if you guys have peeped. This is the same video. I haven't did the wrong one, but it's all right. We'll still finish it through.
I still love you. All right, I still love you. I got that. Don't hate me. Okay. Don't hate me. Is there anything else? Like I just felt, I promise you I love you and I'm still here. I just want to live. I see what y'all doing, and I want you to know I forgive you.
I forgive you. Girl, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
I love you.
Girl. Girl, you back.
Yeah.
Girl.
That was his last ditch effort to torture them by trying to send them home with guilt and shame, because narcissists specialize in inducing shame and guilt.
Girl.
Take no accountability for their actions whatsoever, and it's all of your fault. And he was not going to walk out of that court without everybody else walking away with a sense of dread. And because he know also, especially his ex cult members, that even to this day they probably do still love him, and in some place in them there may still be that part of them that will ever be connected to him, and he's hoping once again to let his to make their last impression of him to be one where they have to
Feel
potentially,
guilty.
yeah, like contemplate if they really did the right thing, if this was too harsh, or if they, hold any responsibility, that, they all, they also had autonomy. I could have left, maybe some part of me wanted this. So he's trying to trigger up all of that. Like that's this whole
Mm-hmm.
making you spin the block in your brain against yourself.
Girl, I just when I tell you, I was like so triggered just watching this. I was
I'm
like,
proud of
girl,
them. I'm proud of
oh
them.
Lord,
I'm,
Jesus,
I'm proud of them for ending this. And
yeah,
I know it was extremely difficult.
painful.
Yeah, and they're probably going to go home and cry, and they probably are going to go through all the motions because
Mm-hmm.
you know this claimed lives, and this thing was beyond
Careless,
Sean, but they also get to like rest their conscience because a monster that they helped to create, they also helped to put back under the bed, back into the
right,
dark place. And
right.
so shout out to them. Shout out to them for finding that power.
So let's push the car forward. So when I was doing my digging in terms of carbonation, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, whatever, I was interested. I was like, I remember I saw a documentary on cults sometime bike. So I decided, I was like, no, let me get into some of these things. Now let me segue over. Now hopefully this thing don't kick me out. Hold up, because girl, last time, oh Lord, I think it's gonna play. Please don't play my intro. I think it is. Let's see. It's on do. Oh, okay, it didn't. Okay, come on, me over here working this thing. But let me do this real quick. So I wrote down the key points in terms of finding out and learning about cults. So there are three characteristics of a cult. You have a charismatic leader. He's looked as, or she is, this person is looked as an authoritarian, more like a godlike figure, cannot be touched, is very untouchable. The second characteristic is mind control, and this has to do with indoctrination. Alexa, define indoctrination.
Indoctrination is usually defined as the act of indoctrinating, or teaching or inculcating a doctrine, principle, or ideology, especially one with a specific point of view.
Gotcha. So the this is through the process of indoctrination, which we're going to get into because there's 7 steps to indoctrination. Um, this is where you're going to program, reset the mind. And the thing about it is that with the mind, where the mind goes, the body's going to follow. That's the reason why when you may have people who may experience a depression, experience an emotion at an extreme rate, even though we have celebrities and billionaires who on the exterior, in terms of their body, in terms of their experience in life, they are living the life compared to the POV of the other people of the people. You're living the life. You have it all. But however, the mind is having a different experience. The mind's experience is on the polarity. So where that mind goes, the body's going to follow. Now, the third characteristic of a cult is exploitation. Now, this exploitation, Alexa, define exploitation.
Exploitation is the utilization of something, especially for financial gain. There are many different ways in which exploitation can occur, including exploiting a resource, exploiting a labor force, and more. Exploitation is often criticized for its ethical implications, as it often involves taking advantage of others for personal gain.
Got you. So the thing about exploitation, like Alex, no, I don't want to say your name because I don't need you going off. Like over here, my my Echo Dot just said, there is either going to be financial or sensual. Come on, word. Come on, download into my system. Or sensual. Either financial or sensual. Those are the three characteristics of a cult. A charismatic leader, mind control, and exploitation. If those three things are present, then these are the characteristics of a cult. It's quite safe to call this a cult. Now, the issue is when I was looking into cults and the characteristics and indoctrination in that process, the issue they said with this definition or characteristics of a cult is that this is based on a value judgment or moral judgment, not so much of a concrete judgment to the point you can really let it stick. But however, when you start to really get deep and really deep into different groups and all of those things, certain things people may disagree that that's not a cult, that's not this, that's not that, because it's not really so much of a, it's not 100% solid in its definition and characteristics. Because another thing that they also said that can be a cult is people who are dedicated to different brands. Example would be Apple. People who have iPhones, people who have Samsungs, people who have or who has a Windows laptops. These are the things that they were saying in the article, and also when I was looking up different types of things that would be considered a cult. But let me continue. Now we're going to get into indoctrination. There are 7 elements of indoctrination. The first element is a crossroad. What I mean by that is this. This is where a person or people may be in a vulnerable state, and because of certain circumstances, it leaves them vulnerable. And with them being vulnerable, they are looking for a way, looking for an answer. And like Conscious said previously, it makes them or me or you or all of us want to be picked. It puts us in a position to where we want to feel validated because our previous circumstances made us feel unvalidated. Now, the second element is a soft sale. Now, if you're in marketing or anything like that, because that's my thing. That's what my job was. When you was in marketing, it's something called a soft sale. So a soft sale. Wait, let me ask. I don't feel like dealing with you right now because, girl, I feel like you're gonna say. Let me see. Alexa, in marketing, what is a soft sale? Let's see what she says.
In marketing, a soft sell is an approach that uses subtle persuasion to encourage customers to buy a product or service. It avoids aggressive or forceful tactics and instead relies on appealing to customers' emotions or senses to generate interest. The goal is to create a more positive and pleasant buying experience, rather than forcing a sale.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you done. So yes, the soft sale was very crucial because for me, in my experience, when I was in marketing, that was my bread and butter. I always, when I had to work door to door, and I was working door to door sales, and I had to persuade the homeowner to be interested in our product, my bread and butter was that I was using throughout the whole process of me talking to the homeowner, it was a complete soft sale. It didn't come off aggressive. It didn't come off pushy. It didn't come off too laid back. It didn't come off as in I just did not care. It was a very subtle push. It was very subtle. It was very subtle to the point that the homeowner didn't realize that they were being drawn in to be more interested in something. So yes, the soft sale. The soft sale would be like, I don't want to say the name, my Echo Dot said earlier, is that you're being introduced to something, and this may be the what's the name of the meeting of when you first come to the orientation. You may go to the orientation to a job, and they may have all these good things to say about the job, about the pay, about the job, about the workspace. We're the best in the land. You know, we're here. We're going to make it. By next year, we're going to increase by da-da-da-da. Everybody's going to get raises. Everybody's going to get be on a yacht. We're going to have a yacht party. We're going to celebrate. But then once you actually get into the job, get into your career, and later on down the line, you start to see the ish. You start to see the bull. It starts to really unravel because initially that orientation was the soft sell. But let me continue. The next element is a new reality of indoctrination. So the next element is a new reality. The thing about it is that when you are left in a state to where you're vulnerable and you're seeking answers, you're wanting a new circumstance, you're wanting a new feeling because what you're feeling right now is so unpleasant. What you're experiencing right now is so unpleasant. So you're seeking some answers to change your set circumstances, to change how you're feeling or what you're experiencing at the moment. So with that comes a search. And also with that comes some answers. Not saying it's going to be the right answers, but you may find some answers. If you keep knocking on the door long enough, somebody's going to answer. And so now at this point, you're going to have a new reality, which may be the soft sell of said cult. Telling you what you want to hear. Making you feel validated. Giving you the compliments that you need. Giving you the ideas that you quote unquote, because let's be very clear, we all have biases. We all have certain tendencies. So we all, based upon our biases, which is going to warp or shape our perception in the way that we view things or experience and interpret the things that we experience, what's going to happen is that based upon your biases, and if the person who's doing the soft sell or said cult, they can alter their message to appeal to those biases to bring you in. The next element, you guys make sure you guys thumbs up this video. The next element is the dear leader. Now, the thing with the dear leader is that this is the most important relationship out of all. So a lot of the times in cults, your first initial, catch me now, your first initial experience is not going to be with the dear leader. It's going to be with the recruit. It's going to be with somebody that can softly bring you in, escort you in, scope you out. Oh, perfect example. Sometime back, I'm only reason I can say this because he said it publicly. Sometime back, Conscious TV did a video on Miss Perry and all of his alleged concubines or whatever he got going on with Christian Keys, etc. Whatever. But and also in this, I forgot, I want to say Diddy and all the other guys, whatever, all the people that are engaged in using their money to be able to do what they want to do and get what they need to get. There is a business, or there's a spider web of people also a part of the bush. Reason being is because you may not directly talk to Diddy all the time. Initially, you may not directly talk to Tyler Perry, to Mabel Simmons directly. Initially, you may not directly talk to the boss initially, but you may talk to one of his recruitees, the people that he's going to recruit, that he hires to recruit, and kind of figure you out and apply the soft sell just to see would you be a good candidate. Hold up, y'all. So once you get past that portion, Then once you get to hearing about this, about the information of the cult, their belief systems, you guys are chopping it up and you are creating, whether you know it or not, a community of people, a newfound community of people. The cherry on the top is to meet. Because my thing is this, I'm joining a community with groups of people that think just like me. They have been in this very similar situation. We are connected. We are getting along. Everything's going great. I'm leaving. I'm coming out of this vulnerable state. And now I'm walking into a new reality for myself and experiencing new types of people. Now I'm listening and engaging in conversations with these people, and they're telling me all these grateful, wonderful things about this said person. And now the cherry on the top is for me to meet that said person. And now, whether I realize it or not, now I hold this said person to a high regard, because the people surrounding me, who I get along with, who I connect with, and who we have similar ideas, and we all come from the same struggle, background, etc., they have a very good rapport with the dear leader. But let me continue. This next one was very powerful. The next element of indoctrination is the enemy. When you specify who the enemy is, that right there is very powerful, because guess what? Now you've also introduced the fear tactic into the chat. Now you've introduced something that's going to push said member, said recruit into the arms of the cult. For pro-black extremist groups, cults, for pro-black extremist groups, aka cults, the enemy would be the black man, would be the white man. The system. This enemy is going to push people, the recruits. Oh, this is the big bad wolf. Let me run over here to be safe, around a community of people to be safe, but not realizing that, yes, this person may or may not be the big bad wolf, but also there's a big bad wolf also amongst you as well. Oh, girl, I'm over here taking pictures and everything. Come on, pictures. Yes, ma'am. You guys, make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Let's be very clear. If you guys are in this video, and I only see at the time there's only 8 people in here, if you are looking at me and if you are enjoying the content, make sure you take your fat ass finger and you tap, and you sting, you punch, you stomp on that like button. Thank you so very much. I do appreciate it. Now, let me continue. The next element of indoctrination is peer pressure. Now, this is where it goes back to what I kind of hinted towards earlier, where now you're around a community of people, and while you're in a community of people, now you're hearing how they're expressing their love, their admiration for the dear leader, or whatever the ideas are. But then now, that is a way, a security, a fence to help everybody stay in line, because now you have the fear tactic of the enemy, or this idea of who the enemy is. So that's the fear tactic to keep you inside, to keep you in. Oh, protect me from aka the white man. Protect me from aka, the Me Too movement. Protect me from men. Protect me from women. But then now you also have another fence of security, which would be peer pressure, which means that if somebody acts out of line, thinks out of line, or thinks out in a way that disagrees with the group, next thing you know, it's going to be a peer pressure thing to help enforce and also help other people in the area or within the group to conform. There have been scientific studies, experiments to where there will be two diagrams, and within those diagrams you can obviously tell that there is a difference between both diagrams. It's very obvious there's a difference between the two, but the first 7 people are in on the experiment. The last 2 or 3 are not. They're oblivious to what's going on, to the true intention of the experiment. The first 7 people purposefully chose the wrong answer, even though it's extremely obvious which one is the right answer. It's not like something you can really get wrong. It's quite obvious. But then once they went through the line and they got through to the last 3 people, they chose the exact same answer the previous 7 did. Even though you can tell on their face, by their facial expression, it was the wrong. They was like B. Even though they knew deep down it was the wrong answer. But it showed the process and how peer pressure really can be a mother. But let me continue. The next element is, in the end, your dear leader, under all of the sheep clothing, under the halo, under all of the heaven-like appeal of having this halo effect, this person really probably is a sociopathic narcissist. And in this case, that's exactly who and what the hell this person is. But another part of when I was doing my deep dive in terms of cults, is why do people leave cults? What are some motivators that pushes people to actually leave cults? First motivation is 3 that I wrote down, that I got. An incompetent leader. An incompetent leader showing that initially you were looked as this king, as this queen, as this god. 3 God. 3, girl. This god. You were idolized as like a celebrity. But then as time started to go by, as the time clock started to elapse, all of a sudden your true nature, your true habits started to really come to the forefront. Because at this point, it's only so long you can put up your representative without bits and pieces of the real you starting to seep through. So an incompetent leader is a motivator for people to leave said cult, because what that does, that cracks and breaks the old reality, or the new reality at the time, the reality of the cult. It makes people question, okay, this whole time you were teaching me certain lessons, or having me or indoctrinating me with certain ideas and teaching the word of this, of the word of that, the book of this, the book of that, just to find out that you were a fraud the whole entire time. It makes you have doubt in what they were teaching you, whether it was genuine or they was just full of shit. So the next motivator of why people may leave a cult is because it kind of hinted towards it, is a moral guide. A moral guide in terms of, with said leader, they may come out to be a hypocrite. The biggest hypocrite you know. I.e., I may be in a Christian group and we're supposed to practice celibacy. But then I find out the pastor, the head organizer, the HBIC, HNIC, the CEO, whatever you want to call it, find out he's not only has this person been having sex, but however, he's been overindulging in sex. So it does crack one's reality of what they thought they knew at the time. Now, the last, well, that's kind of like all the same. Well, I'm gonna say it's all tied in together based on my thing, was the constructed reality was cracked. Because the thing about it now is that the first one was the incompetent leader, which was the nucleus, which bled over to the moral guide, because now you're incompetent and you're teaching me certain morals that you're not even following with, aka you're a hypocrite. And now all of a sudden, now since you're a hypocrite, now I gotta really reevaluate what is true and what is false. So that's what I had learned in terms of this cult BS. Let me bring Conscious back up here because, girl, I feel like I just went on the whole rant. Hold up, y'all. Hey, girl. Conscious. Let me see. Hold up. Oh, girl, my thing on 32%. Hold up. Conscious. Hold up real quick. Can you guys hear Conscious? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear Conscious. I can't hear him right now. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me see real quick. Hold up. We're going to do a brief interruption real quick. Let me do this real quick. You guys make sure you guys thumbs up this video. I want to make sure everything's all good, at least on my end. Because, girl, let me see this real quick. Baby girl, what's your name? Let me see real quick. Bam, 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 bam. You guys make sure you guys thumbs up this video, okay? We're going to do a small interruption. Okay, I'm not tripping. Okay, I thought I was tripping. So I guess I'll just continue talking until Conscious comes back or he comes back. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but when Conscious makes his way back, I guess I'll continue. So I'm gonna leave my bitch up here, okay? Alrighty, so let me continue. Bye-bye. So now that I went through all of that, now what I'm going to do and what we're going to do, hopefully when Conscious comes back, is that now we're going to go through the second article that really breaks down everything that's literally been happening in terms of Natureboy and his carbon monoxide cult. So let me over here share my screen real quick. You guys make sure you guys thumbs up the video. Oh, you guys can't hear him? Okay, so I'm gonna leave him up here for right now, but then when if he comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, I know probably something happened or whatever. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so let me share my screen real quick. What is bad boy at? I'm gonna do the one with the guest. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, let me get out of this and let me go up here. Girl, now keep in mind, this is going to be a lot of reading. Let me share this tab. Okay, this is being shared. Let me exit this out. You guys make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Let me know what you think, what you feel, how you feeling. All right, bam, there we go, and totam. What my thing at? Oh, I'm sitting on it, girl. Alrighty, so right here, now this is brought to you guys by Fox 5 Atlanta. DeKalb, now keep in mind, y'all, I will be substituting said words. DeKalb County jury settled in R-word trial of alleged polygamist cult leader Eligio Bishop. Girl, I always butcher his first name. I'll be saying all types of words. Okay. Now it says DeKalb County, Georgia. Now this is the article where it really breaks things down. So I will be chunking it. After an hours-long process, a jury was seated Wednesday in DeKalb County in the R-word trial of an accused cult leader. Prosecutors say that Eligio Bishop, Natureboy, every time I say this, I'm going to say Natureboy. Natureboy assaulted one of his followers and then posted explicit videos of the woman online. Dozens of prospective DeKalb county jurors faced questions Wednesday in a county courtroom as lawyers on both sides worked to figure out who would decide Bishop's, aka Natureboy's, fate. And it says here, and I quote, "Has anyone else heard anything about this case before you came to court today?" Senior DeKalb County Assistant District Attorney Michael Convene C asked the jurors. And it says here, and I quote, "Is there anyone here, you yourself, have been accused of SA or inappropriate torturing, asks Bishop's defense attorney Robert L. Booker. The questions from prosecutors and the defense are designed to get a fair, impartial jury for Bishop, who is accused of the R-wording a woman trying to leave his alleged cult called carbon monoxide. I'm so sorry, Carbonation. In March 2022, the woman says Bishop asked to see her as she was packing her stuff at a home off of DeKalb County's La Vista Road. That is when investigators say the alleged assault took place, but that it's not all of that is why prosecutors ask prospective jurors this question. Let me see if Conscious made his way back. Oh, he didn't? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it back here. Oh, girl, let me fix this. Oh, girl, I got everything going on over here, girl. Okay, I'm going to do this. Bam. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring Conscious down if he needs to come back up, because maybe that's what it is. He can't come back up because maybe he's having a delay or something. So let me bring him down. Girl, go. What you doing? 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 Okay, that's what I was doing. Got you. So let me do it like this then. Bam. If Conscious needs to come back, he'll make his way back. Let me see. Yeah, he'll just make his way back. So let me go back to the article. Now it says here, and I quote, "Is there anyone themselves, a close friend or family member, ever had an intimate video of themselves shared without their consent? Covenant cease acts." Girl, because I'll be butchering people's words. Butchering people's names. Prosecutors say that the victim later found explicit videos of her posted online. Prosecutors call it revenge P. During Bishop's preliminary hearing, his lawyer called the R allegation a he said, she said situation. The victim, who we are not identifying, was not present Wednesday, but one of her supporters was here. And it says here, and I quote, "She is feeling strong. She's looking forward to telling her story," said Chantel Coleman. "The totality of everything that happened that night, I think that there are a lot of people that have heard bits and pieces. Bishop also had supporters at the courthouse. None of them wanted to go on camera." Now, when I say this, because he had his cult members at the courtroom. When I tell you, when I saw the video of them speaking, now keep in mind, when I saw the video of them in front of the courthouse or talking to the news station speaking, I had already seen and was privy to the craziness that's actually been documented on social media, because Natureboy loves to be in the forefront. He loves to be within media. He loves to showcase his life and the craziness that he shows, the craziness of it all. He loves it. So it's not like these things, and keep in mind, I actually saw some members that were protesting for his behalf were the same, some of the same members that I saw being disrespected physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. But I understand, once again, mentally, they were still trapped there. But let me continue. Bishop faces several charges, including the R word and 3 counts of sharing explicit content illegally. Now it says here, who is Eligio Bishop? Natureboy 3 God. Girl, how did I say his name the first time? Because I listened to it the first time. Eligio. E Bishop, Natureboy 3 God. Girl, forget it. Bishop, the 41-year-old leader of the suspected cult Carbonation, who goes by Natureboy and 3 God, girl, I can't stand him, is facing charges of the R word, false imprisonment, and prohibition of explicit transmissions. Come on, transmission fluid. Bishop has been in custody in DeKalb County since 2022. when he was arrested in April after a former member of his organization went to the police. The woman recently left the group and told police how Bishop mistreated women. Jury selection and a motions hearing were set to begin at 9 a.m. on Wednesday in DeKalb County Superior Court. The suspected cult leader arrested on, all the, I don't want to say all that because I might mess around and say the word. And hopefully you two don't get me out of here for even having certain words up. But girl, Carbonation leader accused of the A word and revenge P. Girl, I'm going to say it out loud. During a hearing a month after his arrest, DeKalb County Police Detective Monica Panelzian testified that a woman who Fox 5 Atlanta is referring to, a AV, reported to investigators on March 30th that she had recently left Bishop's cult and that he had posted multiple videos of them having X with an S on Twitter without her consent. Now, the thing about this is this. Velvet, in her interview, said the same thing. She said the same thing in terms of that's what he would do when he was angry, when he wanted to get back, when he wanted to, quote unquote, make you suffer. That is what he did. That was his niche. That was his go-to. But let me get to, girl, I almost ended the live. Lord have mercy. Let me stop touching stuff over here, get in trouble, okay? Let me continue. Alleged X with an S cult leader posted explicit videos on Twitter. And it says here, and I quote, she stated Mr. Bishop is doing revenge P on her because she left him, said Panosian. I'm going to call her Panosian. Pano. I'm going to call her Pano. We're going to give nicknames around her. Pano. AV told police Bishop, aka Natureboy, had ordered other women in the group to hit her because she made a face at him. The woman then told Natureboy, aka Bishop, she wanted to leave, and he told her to pack her things while the other women screamed at her. Now, here's the thing. If this is the same, I don't know which woman this is exactly. I really didn't find out who it is. But if this is the person that I think that it is, there is an actual video of his concubines' wives beating up on, allegedly, because if you didn't see the fight, at least in the clip I've seen, I didn't actually see the fight. But from the context clues and the way that the girl was looking, it's quite safe to say that there probably was some physical altercation. And she probably got jumped or she just got beat up. Where he was once again on live, videotaping, showcasing, broadcasting that his wife apparently in some way disrespected him. And so he ordered or allowed the other girls, women, wives, concubines, side pieces to dog walk her up and down the street and turn her every which way but loose. And you can tell on the video that she looked like she was, for one, she was crying. Face was red. She looked scuffed up. Like you could tell like she was kind of like, you could tell like she was like jacked up a little bit. And her response and what she said was, I don't care. That's not like me to fight. I'd rather get beat up than fight. Something along them lines. I paraphrase, by the way. Or I probably quoted it correctly, but I'm going to paraphrase. That's a paraphrase, by the way. But let me continue. And I'm going to continue. As she waited for a rideshare driver to pick her up, AV told investigators Bishop asked her to come say goodbye to him. It's always that trap. Come back. Come say goodbye to me. Because remember, whenever they say, this is the reason why it's consistent with what he did in that courtroom. What he did in that courtroom is, I'm sorry, I'm this, I'm that, and you thinking everything is cool, but in all actuality, first chance he get, he gonna be knocking you in between a washer and a dryer. And it says here, and I quote, he began to tell her how she was his B and that she was no longer allowed to leave. Come on, trying to dictate my rental agreement. said Detective Pano. Says here in her quote, she stated she began to essentially beg him to leave and began to cry. She stated Mr. Bishop, aka Natureboy, then began to attempt to have X with an S with her. She told him no, and he continued. The woman waited until the morning when most of other people were in the house, were asleep, and snuck out, according to police. Girl, his corrupted task. Now it says here, now here's the thing too. Former members begin to speak out. Now, y'all, just to give you guys a heads up what I'm about to do. Just give you a heads up. And first and foremost, before I continue, you guys make sure, yes, thank you, yes, he loved, and let me switch my screen over so everybody can make sure they see them. The group loved humiliation rituals. That was another thing that I saw, that I seen when I was doing a deep dive, with a rapid deep dive, is that one of the wives left, came back. I don't know, did she come back because she had to? Because physically she wasn't going to be able to get away or get that far? Or mentally she was still stuck there. And once again, where the mind goes, the body's going to follow. She comes in, and next thing I see is the group is surrounding her. No one touched her. The group is surrounding her, and she gets on one knee. She has the 333. Girl. She holds up the signs, the symbols for 333. I think it's like this, something like that. I forgot exactly how she was holding it. And then his initial response was, so what do you have to say for yourself? And you can tell she was swallowing her pride. And this goes to also say and also show how manipulative he was. In addition to what we already know, is that he would literally go to different countries, literally take these women or have these women, because they didn't, quote unquote, he didn't ask them to join, but however, we know how that works. But take them to different countries and also put them in houses with gates to make sure they could not get away. And also strip them away from documentation that will help them get away. And also put them in environments where there's no family and or friends. Let's take a look back at the narcissism article, where it said that, I'm paraphrasing y'all, where it said that separating you from friends and family. So yes. Yes. And that's the thing too. I remember I was watching a podcast and someone said that they said that sometimes people may have an unconscious guilt about themselves. Essentially, it's a low self-esteem. Alexa, define self-esteem.
Self-esteem is a term that is used to describe how much you think of yourself and how much respect you have for yourself.
Thank you. Alrighty, so with a low self-esteem, because I live for this, because I don't have to look things up no more. I don't have to. Girl, I live for this. But with people having this guilt, unconscious, subconscious guilt for whatever reason about themselves, and having a low self-esteem, I'm about to switch mics, y'all, because it's starting to get. Yep, I'm about to switch mics, y'all. I'm about to take this out. Hold up real quick. I'm about to use. Alrighty. Before I continue, can you guys hear me? Hear ye, hear ye. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Want to make sure before I proceed. Yes, no, maybe so. Let me make sure. Let me make sure real quick that people can hear me. Do I sound clear? Because now I'm about to plug up my charger. Make sure my computer don't die on me. You guys, make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbing up really does help out with YouTube's algorithm. If you are enjoying this content, if you are enjoying this commentary, if you are enjoying this layout, let me know. And the best way to let me know is with the thumbs up. And if you are watching this screen right now, you make sure you take your fat finger and you slam it on the like button. And I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Now, oh, that's what I was doing. Hold up real quick. Let me make sure that I'm heard on my end. Okay, I am. Got you. All right, so we're good to go. So now my computer can be able to charge and I can get my commentary out. That's good. But I wonder what I sound like, though. Hold on, 2.5 seconds, though. Okay, the mic on this is good. I live. Okay, so we good. We good to go then. All righty, so where was I? Yeah, so on the podcast, they said they were making it clear that somebody may have a low self-esteem and, oh, hey, they may have a low self-esteem, and with them having a low self-esteem, they may feel guilty for something on a conscious or subconscious level. But the gag is they don't want to be the ones responsible for punishing themselves. They don't want to be the person responsible for quote unquote checking them. They don't want to be the one responsible for getting themselves in line. So they hire a punisher. They hire somebody to do it. And also it creates a safety net as well. Now, this is what all the other content creators said. It's not my words. And I just listened to the perspective. I was like, okay, you know what? I can see it. I can see. I may not fully understand it, but I can see it. And so with the, make sure I change this up. With the person trying to hire a punisher to punish said person for whatever they may be guilty for because of low self-esteem, the safety net is if things go left, you're not the one to blame a lot of the times in terms of when people take into account of recalling said situation. 9 times out of 10, when people go to recall a situation between a victim and the perpetrator, because I almost said the A word, the A-B-U-S-E word, between the victim and the perpetrator, people are mostly going to focus and put the blame and the ownership and responsibility on the perpetrator, which rightfully so. But when you take on this thought process, because I was just stepping into her world and her understanding and her perspective, then that creates a safety net for people that feel like they need to be punished, but they don't want to be the ones responsible and held responsible for punishing themselves. But let me continue. Now I done did all of that. I done went on a whole tangent. Okay, reckless. The people who went over there to nature, oh, they were the same clients that wanted me to read them daily because they didn't want to be in charge of their own lives. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye. Now, let's continue. Let me go back to the article. That's what it is. So I was over here rambling a little bit, girl. But I'm thing going on. Now it says here, former member reflects on time with carbon monoxide, aka Nation. A former member of Carbon Nation told Fox 5 in 2022 that the group started out as a black counterculture group Now there's gonna be a lot of pausing. What I did for you guys was lay out the foundation. That's the reason why we read the first article, just so that article really got into the narcissism. So then after that, we got into the narcissism and actually created a foundation of what we would agree and what is agreed upon of what narcissism is, how to detect it, how does it show up in relationships, how does it interact with other people, what are the strategies that people should use in terms of interacting with the narcissism or if they're faced with narcissism. But then after that, we hopscotch our asses to carbonation, and then we got into the cult conversation. But now we're in the conversation in terms of this second article that's really going to break it all the way down. And now we're going to start to detect all the BS. But let's continue. The former member of Carbonation told Fox 5 in 2022 that the group started out as a black counterculture group. Bam, there we go. That's the soft sell. And indoctrination in cults, the soft sell. Which one was that? I think that was element number 2. Element number 2. The soft sell, which is the first step. The step of, oh, I'm interested. I like what you guys are about. We share the same ideas. But you see what it said. It started off as a black counterculture group. But it didn't end there because it was the soft sell. It was the analogy that I used. It was the orientation for the job. It wasn't really the full conditions of the job. It was the orientation for the job. What they wanted you to see. They kept the BS in the back with the kitchen and the garbage cans located. Now it says here, and I continue. The woman who was with the group for a year said it began with a shared common goal, but turned into something else entirely. That's a soft sell. It's a cult, and it says here, and I quote, it's a cult. It's definitely a cult, said Erica Carroll. Carroll said she joined the group around 2016 and that it was a positive experience at first. Soft sell. And it says, and I quote, initially it was a great experience. It was a community of people all with the same goal. But when that goal started to change, that's when it became toxic. She said what it was it started to really uncover the true reality of said Nature Boy. Reason being as well is because also with the interviews, that's very consistent. He always presented something to the forefront that created a halo effect for people that were in the cult. Because honestly, if you was outside the cult, you was like, something really wrong with this man. But people bought it. People were listening to it, and they believed him. People inside of the cult, from their perspective, he had a halo around his head. But however, behind the scenes, he was doing nothing, what the words say, causing nothing but confusion. Carroll said things started to change when the group moved to Honduras. And it turned from a community-centric group to one that evolved more and more around its leader. It was a lot of mental and verbal A-word. It was only physical A-word with him and his wives, with an S. It wasn't a point to where he would BEAT us, said Carroll. Carroll said it was shortly after that time that Bishop, aka Nature Boy, went from the moniker Nature Boy to his followers calling him Three God. Now let's get into this Three God conversation. Now I do understand. Let me actually switch my screen over. Let me switch my screen over so now honestly I can really start to hear. Oh, I didn't know the whole time I'm over here reading this article. I did not know I did not have the screen up so you guys can see it. So got you. So let's have this conversation surrounding the three God. Three. Girl, we a fool. We a mess. I understand and I do I'm gonna say it like this. I understand that there are people who share, hold ideas and beliefs that every single person or them individually, they are a god. I understand it. I know it. Not knocking it, not agreeing, not disagreeing. I understand that. But I'm going to tell you where he went wrong. He went wrong is because, for one, take into account narcissist, take into account manipulator, take into account the other things that I will discuss later on in this live. The issue is, especially when it comes to that narcissism, is that he's the God. Everybody else is less than. The issue that he's running into, that he has, is of course the narcissism, which is fueled by the narcissism. But the issue that he's running into is that he's the God and he doesn't see anybody else as God. He doesn't see his followers as God. Because if you saw your followers as God, you would try to treat them as such or direct them in a path to get them to act, quote unquote, to your understanding, godly. But as we all know, you're so full of, so it doesn't even matter. Let me continue. This time I'm gonna put the screen up. Because, girl, the whole time I was sitting there reading, I thought the screen was already up, girl. Let me get it together. Let me go down. She now believes Bishop, aka Natureboy, is someone who is brainwashing and mistreating women who trust him. And it says here, and I quote, he is someone that needs to be locked up either in jail or in a mental asylum. I say do the combination of the two. Now it says here down below, Carbonation members defend. Now this is where we're going to get into the BS. Defend Eligio Bishop. I done said his name about 4 to 5 different ways. Hopefully one of those pronunciations is his name. It doesn't even matter because he's abused. He is a person that mistreats people. Y'all know, Natureboy. It says here, and I quote, the black man is God, one follower said days after Natureboy's arrest. And it says here, and I quote, and y'all just locked up the Messiah. The members of Carbon National, I think it's Nation. Come on, y'all, come on, spell check. The members of Carbon Nation said the group focuses on positivity and called Bishop a healer of oppressed black men and women. Now, let's put a pause in that. Now, like I said, we're going to go through the BS. This, once again, let me pull out my handy dandy notes. Let me go into my backpack. So now, this is the cult. You have a charismatic leader, aka 3 God. Remember, I said earlier, the 3 characteristics of a cult. A charismatic leader, mind control, and exploitation. You have the charismatic leader who is a God-like figure, aka hence 3 God. And plus the way that they speak about him, like it's always this admiration and all, they're always looking up to him. Then you have the mind control indoctrination, where, aka the programming, to where he is physically, mentally, emotionally disrespecting them, or the A word, them. But however, they're so deep into their MK Ultra, they can't see what's really going on. And he has them wrapped around his finger. And then the last thing is exploitation, where he's actually exploiting. There are videos where he's actually saying, this person sent me $5,000. This person sent me $30,000. This person sent me $300,000. People literally send them a whole bunch of money like it's insane. And the thing about it is that at least, if that's going to happen, at least invest back into your people, into your followers. There should be no reason why y'all should be getting y'all stank ass on different airlines getting kicked off. And then the way that you guys are living, my question is, where did that money go? Maybe I just didn't see that information, but I'm like, okay, where did the money go? Because your locks and everybody's locks don't look freshly done, so it's not on hair. You don't take showers, so it's not on hygiene. You're out in the wilderness eating berries, nuts, and trail mix and ish, and probably wild animals. So you're not going out buying food. To my understanding, I'm exaggerating, but clothes. But you're getting 30K. Of course, it's on airlines and where you're going. 30K, 100,000K, and all these other things. But then for the cult to come out their mouth and say things along the lines of, and I say here in our quote, where is it? Okay, where is it? Okay, the members of Carbon Nation said that the group focused on positivity, which it doesn't, because you look at those clips, not really much positive, because if it was positive, no one would be sitting up here getting knocked between a washer and a dryer and monkey stomped and having people, and to the girl that got attacked, aka one of his wives, and it got recorded, she would not be sitting up here allowing, you wouldn't allow, or y'all wouldn't see members within the group having to hopscotch all over that girl. But I digress. And called Bishop a healer of oppressed Black men and women. Now, the reason why that's the gag, being a bishop, a healer of oppressed men and women, is because there was a follower and a member that had a heart condition, and she was taking medication. But then Bishop's teachings was telling her that everything, all sicknesses, illnesses come from the mind. When you think it, you believe it. When you believe it, it manifests. And so, as a result, because she had her faith in his teachings, she stopped taking her medication that was helping her survive with her heart condition. And eventually she lost her life because she stopped taking her medication. So it's just the gag of it all. And it continues, and it says here in our quote, the accusations, girl, there we go, girl, I'm over here. He spent over 100K of one of his followers' money. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Just the dirty, I don't think I can say that on YouTube. Just dirty, just trifling. That's why inside of the federal penitentiary or the state penitentiary, inside of the penitentiary, there may be people who rob. There may be people who delete other people. There may be people who are in gangs, gang affiliated. Now, there may be all these different crimes that these people may have done or may be accused of doing, and they're just locked up trying to get an appeal. All these different crimes going on. But one thing I will say that inmates do not tolerate is the R word, people who R word, women and men, and people who R word or the A word, minors. And so with that being said, if there are inmates that know about who he is, what he's about, especially once I play the clip later on in this live, baby, he getting monkey stomped all throughout that jail cell. When I tell you, they over here slinging him from left to right, all in the bathroom, knocking him off all between the stalls. But let me continue. Let me go back to this. The accusations that are being brought up against three gods are false because women, they come here on their own will, said Caleb Buckner, a Carbon Nation member. And that's part of the soft sell, and that's part of the indoctrination, because the first step in indoctrination is a crossroad. The three God is a very caring being, lies. A very loving being, lies. He's very caring, lies. He's very holy, lie. One of his followers told Fox 5. Now this is the army of the mammies and the pappies. These men and women are the face of mammies and pappies. Now, it says, standing outside the DeKalb County home the day after the raid, the group denied that anyone was or being held against their will. That's the lies. And it says, and I quote, "This is a revolving door. You can come in and out as you please. No one is going to hold you against your will here." Now, here's the thing. When I seen the video of her actually saying this on, to the news station, she couldn't even get it out. I was like, girl, you lying so bad to the point you can't even get it out to be able to attempt to tell the lie. Girl, my thing is, at least you're going to tell a lie, let it be good and really sell it. You better get in your actress bag. Okay, let me stop touching that button before it mistakenly says something. Members said everything else took place among adults and was consensual. They said several women come and go from the organization because they don't necessarily like what they learn about themselves. That is another trait of what is talked about, the narcissism, where the person pushes up because all the stories are consistent. This goes back to what I said about Diddy and Miss Perry and all this other stuff, and Christian Keys, all this other stuff. Anything alike. Do I believe you should automatically believe a victim? No. I believe that you should listen to a victim, hear them out, don't shame them, listen to both sides, and determine whether or not you believe the victim or you believe the person that's being accused. That's what I believe, because we also know people have portrayed themselves to be a victim, portrayed themselves of being a person that was exploited, portrayed themselves of being a person that was mistreated. But in all actuality, they was just looking for a money grab. In all actuality, they was looking for the clout of it all. So, this thing where all the stories are consistent. Now, some of them may be exaggerated. Some of them may be trying to save face. Some of them may be trying to, not so much trying to have an ego death. So they trying to, they grasping at straws to make sure they don't hit the ground so hard. They trying their best. But not everybody's lying on you. I don't care if it's one or two stories. Those are one and two victims too much. Those are one or two many victims. And so this thing to where he pushes up on you, forces you to do the act, the explicit act, the sensual act. Come on, sensual. Because good, I was fishing for the word. Now I was fishing to do the sensual act. Let me take this down, because girl, now I can be able to get into my bag. Get into my bag, girl. Get into my bag, girl. Let me go back, because girl, I'm over here. I know my face is going all over the place in that bubble. He forces you, pushes up on you to do the sensual act, and then you're so disgusted with yourself because, one, you have a low self-esteem. Then on top of that, you are in this MK Ultra, and you're glitching. You're trying to get out of it. Get out. You're trying to get out of it, but you just haven't fully successfully done it. And so it's this trying to blame it on you in terms of trying to flip the narrative of why you may be leaving. So the truth is you're leaving because you were violated and you realize what you were being taught, what you were being told was all a lie, and it was all used as a tactic to reel you in so they can use you for what they wanted you for and then throw you back. Or just keep you on a leash with your collar on and every once in a while give you a Scooby snack. But it's going to get flipped as in you did these things. No one held you against your will. It's a revolving door. People can come and go as they please. But the thing about it is that we didn't push you to do those explicit things. You did those things on your own timing, not against your will. And now that you did those things, you're disgusted with yourself. And you found out something with yourself, and that reality is hard to accept, which is a lie and a manipulative tactic. But let me continue. You guys, make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys are enjoying the commentary, if you guys are enjoying just seeing my face, if you guys are enjoying the background, if you guys are enjoying the sound, everything's up to par. You know, I got my Wi-Fi done, and I'm telling you, I've been putting it into work. Please make sure, guys, you take your fat finger and you make sure you slam it on the like button. Let's continue. Let me, bam, right here. There we go. That's on period. All right, let me continue. Against them. Okay, got you. What does Karen Nation believe? Come on, Karen Nation. They should have proofread this, but we're gonna continue, girl, because the same way they should have proofread it, the same way I need to untie my tongue in terms of this man's name. But you know, touche. Bishop has a heavy social media footprint, having made online music videos and life coaching tapes, as well as soliciting donations. The group shows some of the non-sensual videos posted by Bishop to Fox 5 after being invited into his home on Thursday. Despite being an American citizen and Atlanta native, he took his Carbonation group to Central and South America to try to create what they call a more ideal community. What it was, there we go to that. Here we go. What it was is that he was being manipulative, and the thing about it, and it goes back to the whole cult information, where you have the last part of indoctrination is that really in the forefront, the ideal leader. But really behind the scenes, a sociopathic narcissist. So, which is manipulative, taking you away from your friends and family, taking you away from your environment, putting you in a foreign environment where you're more controlled, you don't have any access, you don't have any people that can come and help you at the drop of a dime. And he knew what he was doing. But let's continue. Carbonation members said they follow a vegan diet and believe, amongst other things, that all people are different shades of brown. And it says here, and I quote, "We had gone back to indigenous living in our true roles as men and women, and some people, women come here, they don't get their way, and they go against the black man. They do false allegations," Miss Mammy said. Now, Buckner, I'm calling her Mammy. Now, I believe by now she's out of the sunken place. I know some women got out of the sunken place, but however, I'm not sure. But as of right now, in terms of the article, her nickname is going to be Miss Mammy. Here's the thing. This right here really it lets me know that's patriarchy, baby girl. That's patriarchy, what you're referring to right now. I'm going to reread it. "We had gone back to indigenous livings in our true roles as men and women." My question is, what are those roles? But let's continue. "And some people, and then she clarified, women come here and they don't get their way and they go against the black man. They do false allegations." Now, here's the thing, because this is another thing I want to talk about. Let me transition this bad boy over. This is another thing I want to get into, because here's the thing. This is my issue in terms of the melanated community as a surface level. The melanated community, black community, is nothing more than a black male worshiping space. Now, I do understand, let me say this, I do understand that people may not understand what I'm saying. They may be like, you might get it, but some of y'all understand. I know y'all like to fight. Chill out. Don't hit the face. Let me explain in my Kevin Hart voice, even though I do not like that man, but still, let me explain. The reason being that the black community is nothing more than a black male worshiping space. Now, I will say this. Since this is the age of Aquarius, we're starting to shift out of that era. Reason why I'm saying that is this. Is because in different topics and conversation within melanated spaces, blackness is compartmentalized on a conscious and or subconscious level. Because when we have these difficult conversations about women, specifically like women's rights, there seems to be an outrage. As if there aren't black women who are going to benefit from women's rights. The same thing goes with queer people. When we have these conversations about queerness within melanated spaces, you're deemed as something else. As if you don't have melanated queer people. We exist. Black women exist. Trans or not, we all exist. Because the thing is this, anytime you go to think about anything else besides the black heterosexual straight male, outside of that, you're deemed something else. When we begin to talk about black women's rights, initially it would be okay, but then when we start to really hammer in on it, all of a sudden you're labeled a feminist. When we begin to talk about black queer people and their rights and the things that we go through, all of a sudden you're deemed as the gay agenda. But let me continue. Okay, it says, and it says in our quote, we teach about sexuality, religion, and these are things that, oh, hold on, wait, I gotta make sure we went back now. I gotta make sure I go back to the thing now so y'all can see what I'm seeing. Come on. Bam. Caught myself, girl. I'm trying to get it right, y'all. Teach about sexuality, religion, and these are things that people are very defined and confined in our belief system, said Armstead, another mammy, or another pappy, I don't know, mammy or pappy. Current members maintain the goal of the group that has not changed. Our life is a matter of helping humanity in healing the black men and women and healing us from our traumas and our evil ways of cream supremacy, said Miss Mammy. But for every positive thing mentioned online or by a member of the group, there appears to be a negative criticism online. According to critics of the group, followers are asked to live as part of the community, a commune style family, being asked to surrender their money and possessions. Those same critics have said once members are part of the group, they are not allowed to leave. A quick search of the internet will reveal reports on at least 2 such members. That is something current members deny. I bet they would. Critics have said the group now appears to be a cult. The first time I heard that, I thought it was kind of cool. Bishop, aka Nature Boy or Nature Boy Toy, because that's gonna be his nickname, because he's gonna be up in the federal penitentiary being turned every which way but loose, and he's gonna be up there bobbing or weaving to make sure that I'm not gonna say that because girl, you too. Bishop, aka Boy Toy, Nature Boy Toy, told the Associated Press in 2020, "Me, a black man, a cult leader, I'm from the hood." That doesn't mean anything, but let's continue. Bishop, in the same interview, expressed how his group has been misunderstood everywhere they have gone, including Costa Rica, which were they forced to leave in 2017. "We're a group of African Americans that were protesting our conditions by leaving them." He said, "They just make us look crazy on the internet." The group has not only been thrown out of Costa Rica, but has also been asked to leave. Oh, girl, I cannot pronounce this. I'm probably going to butcher it. Nicaragua and Panama. According to reports. Girl, I have to get back to reading, girl. I be sounding like, girl, my intelligent girl. I be sounding all types of crazy. Bishop and several members of the group were arrested back in June 2020 for violating Hawaii's quarantine policy. They were eventually sent back to California. Is this the end? This is the end. Okay, so let me bring it back. Now let me. There we go. Let's get these likes up. Make sure you guys thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm not going to be on live too much longer because I do want to make this into mini clips, and I cannot go over 3 hours. So I'm not going over 3 hours, okay? So let me just hurry up and get through this. Now, one person can ask. Let me switch it over. One person may ask themselves, girl, let me switch this over. Come on, girl. There we go. One person may ask themselves, after all that, how does this happen? How does a person who shows you disgusting behavior get the opportunity to continuously do their BS? Now, it was something that when I was in high school, I had a high school teacher, and whenever you'll be in a situation where you're triggered, where you may be arguing with a classmate, or you may be trying to gather the girls, or you may be trying to read this mother for filth, or you may be trying to verbally put your foot in their arse, she would literally say something, and it stuck with me. I would essentially say it for the rest of my life, especially when I'm doing commentary. She said, "Consider the source." So that's what we're going to do. I am referring to a person that A-buses, the men in his cult. There are videos where the men are feeding him fruit. The men are standing by his side doing God knows whatever he wants done. And in the video, you see, I guess, one of the soldiers, the pappies, gave him the wrong fruit. And he didn't want to eat that fruit at the time. For one, he dehumanized them all the time, calling them B words, the H word, etc., 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 etc. Now, I'm not using StreamYard. I'm using EvuMux. It's EVMUX. I'm putting in the comment section. But he degrades them all the time. He degrades them all the time. And he actually slapped the pappy that was giving him fruit, but gave him the fruit either when he didn't want it at the time or gave him the wrong selection. We're also talking about a man that the A words and also R word women, aka his wives and concubines. His wives and concubines. Where there's actually a video where he's has his wives line up, and they're all lined up, and they all doing a three, 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 you know, the symbol or whatever. Girl, that irks my spirit. Three, 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 three. Doing a symbol, but as he's like showing the video, you see the bruises. You actually see the damage of these women being hurt. You actually see it. And you can see it on the outside in terms of the bruises, but you can also see it, the MK Ultra. Alexa, define MK Ultra. Let's hopefully give me a good definition.
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, MK Ultra was the code name given to a classified group of illegal experiments performed by the CIA on test subjects who did not fully consent to them. Experiments using mind-altering substances, such as LSD, were conducted, as well as tests using sensory deprivation, electroshock, and hypnosis.
Okay, you did your good. You did that. But using MK Ultra in terms of my body is bruised, my body is sore, my mind is distorted and programmed, aka the MK Ultra indoctrination. I'm indoctrinated that this is love, this is okay, you are my savior, this is patriarchal philosophy, you are the Messiah, this is God, three God. But deep down to my roots, where there seems to be a little bit of me left, a little bit of my identity left, a little bit of my ego, essentially, a little bit of my personal identity that's literally deep in my soul, letting it be known that this is not okay. And you can see it on their faces. They smiled. They was in line. They was 333 and all the other stuff, but you can see it on their face that they deep down it was breaking them down emotionally as well. And so I got something else I want to show y'all. I have a clip. Now I'm going to, by the way, I gotta do a trigger warning. Trigger warning is you're gonna hear very sensitive comments. And this is us considering the source, which would be Natureboy Toy. There was a clip, and he talked about how it was very YouTube and their sensories. It was very inappropriate for minors. I'm gonna let you hear it. This is a warning, giving you a heads up. But let me change my screen real quick. But let me see. It says, throw away the key. Hashtag Natureboy. Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready.
I take bath with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be making love to his mom. That's me, bro. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab my penis. I had sex with his mom. I'm making love to his mother. After I'm done, I'm laying there chilling. He grabbed my penis. And he's playing with my penis. 10 years later.
So here's the thing. Now let me bring it back. I did say it was a trigger warning. You're also talking about a man. Now, keep in mind, he did do an interview and try to clean it up. But however, it's no need to clean something when you was actually speaking your truth. You're also talking about a man, considering the source, a man that's why I said in my initial breakdown, my initial intro, yeah, some of it was to be funny, but I was being dead serious. I'm sprinkling in some humor with the truth to make you laugh, but however, it keeps you engaged and know what the heck is going on. That's a danger to minors. Now, that goes back to the initial question. How can someone do all of this and get away with it? This book here. I don't know what it. Let me see. It's on screen. Is it going to come up sideways? It's going to come up right here. Let me see. This book right here. How highly effective people speak. Hold up real quick. I'm touching everything but the thing I need. Okay, it came up good. I had to check on my monitor over here. How highly effective people speak. How high performers use psychology to influence with ease. Give you guys a little breakdown on this. Very short. I ain't finished reading it, but it's very interesting, girl. This book talks about how all humans, we all have biases. Biases help our brain conserve energy for more cognitive, demanding tasks. That's the purpose of biases. To create shortcuts to save energy for our brain for more necessary cognitive demanding tasks. With those biases, the issue that people run into in terms of biases is that, especially when they're trying to influence, they work against those biases. With this book, it's telling you should work with those biases. Understand those biases, detect those biases, and work with those biases instead of working against them. Because then working against them, you're working against yourself. But you're working with them, you have another person on your team. So one of the biases, or I'm going to say tendency because it says tendency here. But it says bias number 2, liking and loving tendency. What is it? We find people we like or love more persuasive and we ignore their flaws and faults. Where does it come from? We are social creatures who evolved in the presence of our fellow humans. This sociological tendency emerged because it conferred an evolutionary advantage which helps us survive and thus pass on our genes containing the tendency. What's the advantage? Stronger human relationships protecting us in urgent moments. Now, it says here down below. Now, it's like midway or whatever. It says Blair Warren reveals another compelling framework for achieving likability in his book for one sentence. Girl, I had to highlight because, girl, this book is interesting. The book, one sentence persuasion course. 5 things. Justify their failures, encourage their dreams, allay their fears, throw stones at their enemies, confirm their suspicions. If you want to create a strong fan base, a strong cult, a strong following supporters, all you have to do are these 5 things. Literally. That's all you have to do. And that's exactly what Natureboy did. Justify their failures. We are failing because we are oppressed in this system. Holds truth because the thing about it too, let's also revert to the 48 laws of power. One way to be able to disarm your said victim is when you put a little bit of truth in there so that you can gain their trust. And then once you got their trust, that's when you add in your lies. So yes, it is true that melanated bodies are being oppressed in this capitalistic cream supremacy. But however, what you forgot to kind of put in there as well is that you ain't no good either. But I'm going to continue. Encourage their dreams. You have followers who were into nature, into spirituality, wanted to reach a new level of consciousness and elevate themselves, and you did nothing but use it against them. Use it against them. Okay, I can stop sharing this screen then. Let me stop sharing this screen. Hold on, give me 1 second. Y'all make sure you guys Let me see. Make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let me see. There we go. This one right here. Allay their fears. Empower them. And make them feel powerful. You guys are powerful as a group. Allay their fears. Let's look up allay. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it. Dude, let's try it. Because she been on the road today. I'm going to be honest with you. She been on the road. Alexa, define A-L-L-A-Y. Because I got a feeling if I say it, it's probably not going to say it right.
Allay is a verb that means to calm or quiet. It is used to put fears, doubts, suspicions, anger, or any other emotion to rest. The word is often used to describe the process of allaying someone else's concerns or worries. It can also be used to describe the reduction or removal of a physical discomfort, such as pain or anxiety.
You own it. I know that's right. Thank you, girl. Anyway, so you want to quiet or disarm their fears. Throw stones at their enemies. So not only do they have fears, you justify their failures, but not only that, you're encouraging their dreams, but now, and it goes back to even the indoctrination. Where that bad boy at? Because, girl, I said it. I said it was going to be a slow roast, and I also said I was going to tie all this in. I said it. I ain't think this was going to be a... 7 elements of indoctrination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th element is the enemy. The enemy, as in once you specify who the enemy is, like I said earlier, it makes the member, or whoever you're trying to attract, run to your arms. Because this is the person that's causing me harm. Which may or may not be true, but however, you also need to remember that you need to also add in there, you ain't no good either, and I shouldn't be running to your arms at all either. But I digress. Throw stones at their enemies. Who would be their enemies? Well, from their perspective, they're using to manipulate cream supremacy. Cream supremacy would be their enemies. Selective truth, we'll say that. But cream supremacy would be their enemies. Oh, the white man is the issue, which could be true. It's kind of true. It could be kind of true. But that's why you need to join my cult, my group. You need to learn what we know, so you can free yourself from the shackles. But in all actuality, all you did was free yourself of quote unquote the shackles, and it end up going into your dog leash and going to your dog cage. And every once in a while, he'll give you some water and some fucking dog food. Every once in a while, girl. But even then, even when you go to look at it, because girl, I didn't really think I was gonna be on here preaching. Even when you go to look at it, all he's doing is reapplying cream supremacy's tactics. That's literally all he's doing. Through the guise of patriarchy, through the guise of capitalism, through the guise of narcissism, etc. But let me continue. Confirm their suspicions. You remember earlier in the live, if you don't remember, I'm going to remind you. Early in the live, I said this. I'm putting this up as if I'm done, girl. Girl, let me open my thing back up, make sure I can. What is bad boy at? Right here. Early in the live, I said how we all have biases, etc., etc., so it can warp and shape the way that we view things, see things, etc., etc., etc. This is what that means. If you already have a certain idea, thought process, it's going to shape or warp your perception in terms of the way that you may interpret what you're seeing. We all may see the same thing, but it all depends on our bias or our life experience or our ideas. Girl, I could not get that out to save my life. Or our ideas. Yeah, it might be time to get up off here real soon, because girl, I could barely get that out. It's going to the pending process and the end result is going to be completely different. Because 6 and a 9, they both have the same movement in terms of making the number. It's all about which way you're going to be viewing it from. On one end, I may see a 6. On the opposite end, I see a 9. They both do the same thing in terms of the movement. But let me continue. The other tendency or bias is disliking and hating tendency. What is it? We find people we hate less persuasive while amplifying their faults and ignoring their positive qualities. So essentially, it's the opposite of the liking and loving tendency. Now, the reason why I said all of that, and the reason why I had to get into all of that, girl, I'll be over here reading, girl. When I tell you, I'll be over here reading my books, and that's on period. Look, just to think, some months, I'm gonna say like a year or so ago, I would have started reading this book, didn't even realize I was gonna need it later on. Look, come on, knowledge is key, knowledge is power. Make sure you read your books, y'all. We can't be logicians and not out here reading. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me continue. So I gotta hurry up and end this live soon. I gotta end this live before 3 hours. Here's the thing. People may ask themselves, how can a person be this disgusting and smell this disgusting? Because the thing about it is that in the cult, you wasn't supposed to be eating, you wasn't bathing. So you smelled like ish. You took ishes by trees. You didn't use toilets. You slept outside in tents. A person that smelled like this had a behavior that matched. How could you be able to get away with this? Because it's like this, them tendencies I just talked about. And also with the persuasive tactic as well as in the indoctrination, all the other cult stuff. Because people like him, or at least what they seen of him, they like him. Even when they probably notice little inconsistencies or notice little things about him or notice like a little this, a little that, you ignored it. And we all have done it whether we want to realize it or not. Case in point, when you have friends and when you have enemies or you beefing with on the streets. With your friends, when your friends tell you something, oh, hey, girl, okay, girl, you're more prone to listen, you're more prone to trust it, you're more prone to feel more comfortable having said conversation compared to when a mother on the street that you beefing with and you know y'all don't got no good blood together, go to tell you something, you're like, girl, I don't care about all that, girl, I don't care, whatever, you ain't gonna do nothing, no one care about that. That's what you give. Same thing, case in point. Where a woman, for example purposes, guy walks up to her, hey, what's up, man? He's going through it. He's doing his thing. He's attractive. Oh, she messing with it. She like, you know what? I can go out with you or whatever. You know, we can do it, girl. Come on, we can. Where you gonna take me to? Okay, we can do it. Let's reverse the clock back. Same thing happens, but it's a guy that you deem as unattractive. Does the exact same thing. It's a negative for you. Because when you dislike somebody, you're going to amplify their flaws and you're going to minimize their positive qualities. When you like somebody, you're going to amplify the positive qualities and minimize their flaws and faults. But one last thing, and I'm going to get up out of here because the 3 hour mark is about to hit and I got to make this into smaller clips. If I get past 3 hours, I won't be able to do that with my software. So when I was doing a deep dive, I noticed Natureboy's trauma. That was brought up. I can't confirm or deny this, but this is something that I heard and seen. Natureboy's trauma, apparently he had the typical story of he was in the foster care. Parents wasn't around. He was in the foster care. And as a result of being in the foster care, he was one of the ones that experienced ABUSE. After knowing all of that, it's safe to say, at least for me, I think it's safe to say this. I can see how we got this person that we have now, because even Conscious said it earlier. Narcissistic behavior, aka disorder, typically stems from childhood trauma. And so now I say this, and I'm gonna get out of y'all hairs, because girl, I'm not going over 3 hours. This is the reason why people as parents, people as adults, have to be cognitive about the children that you are raising, the children that you are giving life to, because you never know what type of experience that you're giving that child or children. You may not know how your children may be experiencing you, and you don't realize that experience can mean either you're gonna have the president or you're gonna have Jason Voorhees. And so with that is it for my video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please make sure you guys thumb it up, share it out, talk to your people, let them know to become a logician. If they don't know what the heck that is, you make sure that you send them to my most recent videos, because girl, I'm not gonna lie, at some point in time I was trying to figure out my formula, whatever, but I think I figured it out. Y'all make sure you guys share it out, and please make sure you guys thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you guys are looking at me right now, please make sure you take your fat finger and you slam it on the like button to make sure that we get this message out, okay? Now, I know it's only 3 hours long, but sometimes people be doing this stuff, be watching me while they be at work and stuff. So with that being said, now keep in mind, y'all, this is a new system. Now, last time I was on live, I did it successfully. I'm going to try to do this intro out and then put my banner up and then end the live so it can look professional. But it's a possibility it might pan right back on me. So we're going to try, girl. Let's go. Here we go, y'all.